everyone. Katie here with First Source, and we're excited to be on another podcast episode with Love Living Local, First Source, The Source, People with Purpose. And we have been talking about different financial tips and tricks over the last couple of months, but we wanted to show our other side as well. First Source is very involved with our community. So we are excited today to be joined with one of our great community partners. I am here with Andrea from the Utica Zoo and with Pam, who is at First Source, our community engagement manager. So we're really excited to talk about what's happening in the zoo these days. I just want to start with Pam and back up a little bit because First Source has been involved with the Utica Zoo for many, many years, and you were a huge catalyst of getting that started. So tell us a little bit about why First Source got involved with our zoo.
Well, first of all, I want to say how very fortunate our community is to have a zoo in our backyard. I mean, it's just amazing. You don't get that in every single community that you live in. Secondly, we believe in investing in the Utica Zoo because we really want it to thrive. And for generations that come, for them to be able to enjoy it. And lastly, the zoo's mission of education aligns very nicely with our credit union roots and our community give back filters. So those are just a couple reasons of why every year we give to the zoo.
And Andrea, can you tell us a little bit about the zoo's educational mission and vision?
Absolutely. So, we know that we can cater to infants and opening their eyes to the sights and the sounds of the zoo all the way up to folks who are in their twilight years. And you're never too old to learn new things, especially about animals, especially about how we can coexist with animals so that they don't become extinct or endangered. So that's at the crux of every single one of our, messaging highlights for education. But we also, as our mission states, we want to be a fun place. That recreational piece may sound a little bit trite, but unless people are enjoying themselves, they won't learn. So we actually instilled a couple of years ago in our mission, Fun That Matters. And First Source has been such a great partner in every step of that way. And I'm really excited today to roll out some of the ways that we are succeeding because of the support and partnership with First Source.
I love that idea of making learning fun, right? So, kids and families alike may think we're just going to go have a fun day at the zoo. We're going to see the animals, but they don't realize that they are learning something. They are getting an education. And not only that, you're always educating your staff. You guys have internship programs and you do conservation, and there's just so much more than what someone may see when they first walk in. They don't know all of those behind the scenes and everything that's going on that side of the educational piece and the environmental piece. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So our internship program is very robust, especially our animal care internship that starts in May. It just began. And actually, the logo for First Source is proudly placed on the T-shirts for our uniform for our interns. We're very proud of our industry at the Utica Zoo as an accredited body with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. There are standards that are required to be met. And our staff is all highly, highly trained. Sometimes we'll get a comment from someone visiting, what's it take to be a zookeeper? Can I just kind of apply? Can I just come in and feed the animals and, rake? Our employees have, 4-year degrees, master's level, licensing for veterinary services. They are, 100% qualified to do so many aspects of caring for the animals. And the interns learn that hands-on from May through the beginning of August from all over the country. So we're bringing people in who are lodging here. They're spending their free time here. They're, enjoying everything the Mohawk Valley has to offer. And it's through the internship program.
So a lot of education behind the scenes as well, which is a great tie-in for us. Pam, tell us a little bit about our most recent endeavors with Zoo and really how our partnership has blossomed and what we've been working on over the past decade. I can't believe it's been that long with them.
Absolutely. Like you said, we have been a longtime supporter of the Utica Zoo. But I think it really started to blossom, I would say, in 2015. Andrea and I would meet annually. We would have what are called discovery meetings. And we would just talk about the biggest needs that were that the zoo needed, the projects that they were working on. And where First Source could fit in to help out. And so we met that morning. I did leave that day really struggling with the fact that I wanted to do more and make a more impactful give to the Utica Zoo. And what I really took away from that meeting was that the zoo really needed a set of master plans. And I know Andrea had been talking about the fact that, that you were thinking of going with a company to get these master plans. And I was like, you know what? I know that they need some help on some other projects, but I really want to be able to help you get those master plans, because really at the end of the day, that was a blueprint that was going to help you into the future. So that's exactly what we did. And we helped pay for those master plans. And then a little while later, I was like, you know what? I gave her a call again. And I said, I want to do more. What are your ideas of throwing a party and a big unveiling party where we would invite some donors and have some people that are passionate about the zoo come in and actually see firsthand, be the first to see those plans, and hopefully get on board with some of those projects. So we did that. It was very exciting. And our CEO at the time, Mike Parsons, actually got up and he spoke, and he was the first to jump on board with one of those projects, which I believe was the Spider Monkey exhibit that you now see today. So it was really exciting. It was great to be able to just freely come up with some plans and, do more. I mean, I just wanted to make a bigger impact. And First Source is just such a wonderful place to work, and they just allow me to do stuff like that. And it was just great. And so since then, we have, after the Spider Monkey, I believe actually before that, it was at the educational building and vet building that we donated to, and then we were a part of the otter exhibit, and then recently we're part of something new that we actually haven't even named yet, but it's an exciting project where we just received some state funding, and we're going to be opening the 1927 primate building, which hasn't actually been visited by humans other than our staff since the late 1990s.
Wow.
So we're really excited about that. But I am kind of giggling as I hear Pam talk about that conversation even recently about the greatest need. It's actually through Pam and First Source that I started to adopt the language of greatest need, and it really expanded my whole development technique of talking to people about the Utica Zoo and the future and the growth. I had asked Pam at that initial meeting she's talking about for water to the hyena. And the other day, as we were talking about the Dream Big Master Plan and the coffee table book that resulted, and the party where we unveiled, which was a beautiful September evening, and people had so much fun, and they were in awe. They were in awe of the huge photos we had for our master plan. And then recently she said, I just really didn't want to just bring water to the hyena. I wanted to do more. So it really has been full circle. And we used this master plan. It was required for our accreditation. And so was the education ambassador animal area that you spoke of. That first project was required for accreditation. So First Source Federal Credit Union has been incredibly impactful for us to attain that coveted accreditation in 2018 and then again in 2024.
I remember when we started thinking differently, and I feel like this collaboration actually was the catalyst of when that happened. And Pam said, I don't want to just write a check. I don't want to just fundraise. I want to figure out how to get involved. And that's really where that came from, was that idea of that greatest need. And that was the whole purpose, was, can we be a catalyst? Can we get others to jump on board? And now we do that with almost every initiative that we can, as long as it makes sense, right, in that situation. Absolutely. And so I'm just so happy that that all came to fruition the way that it did, that you guys had the meeting and that you sat down and brainstormed, because a lot of times it is that, like, hey, we're having an event and here's our, gold, silver, bronze sponsorship, pick what you want, your logo goes here. And we are known for saying, let's just rip that up and let's do something different and really help you where you need it most, and hopefully have others in the area that have the opportunity to also jump on board. So I love to hear that story. It just makes my heart sing to kind of revisit where we were. You talked a little bit about this accreditation. Can you share with everyone kind of what that is and why it's so important?
Yeah, Pam mentioned, how unique it is to have a zoo in a city our size, and it truly is. To have an accredited zoo with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums is truly impactful. Of the 3,800 approximately animal entities in the United States, zoos, aquariums, wild animal parks, sanctuaries, those types of things, only around 240 of 3,800, only 240 are accredited with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. It's a 5-year accreditation. There's no such thing as reaccreditation. Every time we do it, we have to start all over again. The application is immense. It's everything from the facilities, the animal care, the veterinary services, and also a big part of it is our community connections and collaborations. And in the past, the Utica Zoo actually, we're talking in the early 2000s, lost their accreditation. And I'm told that one of the reasons was they couldn't demonstrate this, being invited here and having the partners that we have. And so that is a huge signal to AZA of how we're doing. It's a litmus test. And we strive to be, successful in everything we do. And we're really proud of our partnerships. And we just really thank you.
It's a good revitalization, and it was the perfect time. So many things were happening at that moment down the Parkway, and just to have you there is really exciting. Even last year, always thinking differently. Tell us about the dino exhibit from last year. How did that come about?
That was amazing. One of our team members, Kyla, had the idea. It was pie in the sky because just to bring the dinos here, nothing to go with them, the compressors, the air, the signage, everything to make it happen. Just the initial investment was $150,000. And we found a partner who supported that 100%, one person. So then we said, okay, good. Now we know that part is taken care of. First Source came on board to help us market it. We did billboards. We did all kinds of partnerships to market. And it launched on Memorial Day weekend, a rainy, windy weekend, and we had great attendance. And then throughout the entire element of that exhibit, which was right through to the end of October, our goal was to bring in 75,000 extra people into the zoo, and we were well over 80,000 extra people to the zoo. So we had numbers, we had financial growth and impact. But one of the biggest things was for people to say the Utica Zoo brought in the international dino exhibit that is currently at zoos all over, not only the country, but the world, big zoos. And we had it here in Utica, New York. So it was a feather in our cap, and we're so excited.
And that's to Pam's point, right? We are so fortunate to have a zoo of our magnitude right in our backyard, right in Utica. And I just love that we're always dreaming big, thinking differently, thinking bigger. How do we marry, what kids are looking for today with the nostalgia of a zoo and bringing sort of the electronics in, the animatronics in with the real life is just, it's so important to see how those things are married together. So I hear that there's exciting things on the horizon again. Tell me what's happening.
There are. So a recently opened exhibit is actually the second largest in the Northeast, and it is a coral reef, saltwater, both soft and hard corals with great fish and an eel named Bowser. And it's 2,000 gallons of coral and fish, and it was fully put together by a local scientist, a person who has a love of coral, and then also a business owner who has a love of diving. So it was privately funded, and it's going to be great because it's going to help us with those times of the year that it's either so cold that people have a hard time walking around the zoo, which is primarily an outdoor zoo, or so hot that they need, just a respite and pop into an air-conditioned area. So it's a fully inside exhibit for us, which is the first that we've had of this nature. And we're trying something new with water. The saying that we're learning is the longer you stare, the more you will see. So we know that you just stand there in front of this habitat and all of a sudden there's this beautiful fish that had been hiding, or a shrimp, or the eel. And there's more to come. This is new. So after the water and the coral and the fish acclimate together, then we will be able to add actually more fish in the fall of 2026. And again, apparently the largest in the Northeast is the New York Aquarium in Long Island. We will be the second with 2,000-gallon tanks. And then the third is the New England Aquarium in Boston. So we're pretty thrilled at the magnitude that this can be. And we need to be doing these next things that you talked about, because we learned during COVID that it will not take much to destroy us. That was a real challenge. But for a zoo to close down for a bit of time, that zoo will never come back. So we always, people can say, oh, I'll go next year, or our kids are grown, so we don't go anymore. We'll come anyways, because it's 37 developed acres, 66 acres in total, to take a beautiful nature walk, get some exercise, grab a bite to eat at Polly's, our concession stand, see some wonder. It's a great place for a first date because you might not know that person very well, so you don't have to talk about yourselves. You can talk about the animals. I mean, there's just a way to make family memories or new experiences anytime. Snowshoeing in the winter is a whole different way to experience it. But we do ask the public, please support the zoo, because we are fully a not-for-profit. We primarily have to bring most of our revenue in as individual donors, admission, special events, gift shop sales, et cetera. So we ask for the community support, and you're such a great example and leader in that.
You have an amazing gift shop, by the way.
We do.
Amazing.
It really does rival. So I go to zoos all over the country. It rivals some of those. And we ask parents, stock your birthday present closet from the Utica Zoo, because how many birthdays do your children get invited to on a regular basis? And your gifts can be unique, but they can also be conservation-based, and they can help the zoo.
I just love that there's so many ways to support. It doesn't matter what you're interested in, right? So even this new coral exhibit, you might have someone who's really an environmentalist and knows about the coral reefs dying off and thinking, this is a great way for me to even just support that initiative by coming to see this. Like you mentioned, snowshoeing in the winter. Like there's just so many different ways and reasons to get out and come to the zoo. And so if nothing else, I hope our listeners today say, man, I haven't been there in a hot minute. I should go to the zoo and check out what's happening these days. And you do private events, and you can rent space, and there's just so many things.
Right. Employee events or private events like a wedding, engagement party, graduation party, retirement party. There are several things that you can do. And we have at least 2 big projects coming down the pike in the next 2 to 3 years that I'm really excited to be able to guide and put a stamp on. And then after that, a few years, I'll probably sail off into the sunset as I head towards those golden years.
You can't drop any clues on what those are going to be, can you?
I did just drop the clue about the primate building, which 1927 primate building, which is going to be remarkable. And the piece that First Source has added to it is something also that we've never done before. So aquatics, and then this will be an exhibit that First Source is going to underwrite that we haven't done before.
Well, thank you guys both so much for being here. First Source, people with purpose. We really do love to give back to our community. And the zoo is just one of our longstanding partners. And we really wanted to have you on today, Andrea and Pam, to just kind of share why we do what we do. And, your enthusiasm for everything that's coming down the pike is always contagious. So I hope people decide that they would like to head out to the zoo this summer if they haven't yet. And we'll be excited to see what's on the horizon and more things to come. So thank you both so much for being here.
We should go now.
Yeah, and we're open every day except for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So put us in your calendars. Thank you.
Fair. Great. John, we're not coming in for the rest of the day. Pam and I are going to the zoo.